The more tables you join, the more fields you see in your result set. Oftentimes when you get too many fields, it's best to start itemizing the ones you're looking for. You will often find that your select list is going to give way from a select star to an actual select listing of all the fields you want in your report. You probably also know that select is the first line of any query. Select star is easy and works with any table. Select with an itemized field list only works once you've listed every single table and spelled out the field names correctly. Here's a quick query writing tip that can save you the years of heartache I went through before learning this. First step, start by writing every query with a select star until you completely and successfully finish all the joins and all the logic for the query. Step 2, once all joins are working, go back and itemize your select list. Let's do this together. Let's start off by looking individually at the two tables we want to join. The first one is employee, and the second is location. Let's look at both tables. Now this is my employee table. This is my location table. These tables have two fields that you can correspond to one another in your join. This field is the employee.locationID field. This field is the location.locationID field. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to list both tables in the from and both fields in the on. We're going to write select star from to get all the fields. Once that's working, we'll itemize all of our fields and get a more focused report. So what we're going to do is drop this from down a line and put the location in the same line as the from and say inner join on employee.locationID equals location.locationID. Now that the query is running properly, let's focus on just the fields we want to see. If the report said show last name, first name, city, and state, we can now itemize our fields safely because we know that all of the tables that the fields need are already present in your from and your join. So we will say first name, last name, city, and state, and execute. When you do a select star, you are asking for all fields from all tables. We have 11 fields because we're pulling in 7 fields from the employee table and 4 from the location table. Notice the location ID field appears to be listed twice. The actuality is the first one is the employee.locationID field and the second one is the location.locationID field. Let's lay the foundation for an important question. We have a perfectly good running query with just 4 of the 11 fields, 2 fields from the employee and 2 fields from the location. If I were to simply list location ID, would SQL Server try to pull out the employee.locationID or the latter location.locationID? We haven't specified. Which one does it choose? Well, let's execute to test. Playing conservative, SQL doesn't want to take any chances with what you meant. It says, hey, I found a location ID field in both tables. You haven't said exactly which one it is. It's ambiguous, so it's not going to run. Let's say I would like the employee.locationID field. With that clarification, the query runs just fine. Sometimes you need to fully qualify fields in the select, in the on, or even in the where clause. If you wanted to be really explicit, you could qualify every field. This is the employee.firstname field. This is the employee.lastname field. This is the location.city field. And this is the location.state field. This query runs just fine. In most situations, 2 tables would have maybe 1, 2, or up to 3 fields in common, so all of the rest of the fields would be uniquely named by using their simple name. Why is it considered a good practice and a safe practice to fully qualify every field, even if that field is unique to that table only? Well, as you will learn in Chapter 6, it's possible to add new fields in tables where one didn't exist before. Right now, the location table is the only table that has the state field. But state could be in another table, like the employee table. The state of the employee, for example, could mean, are they in a hired state, a fired state, a pending state, or a leave of absence state? Take the location.state qualifier out of the select list right now because SQL can easily figure out how to run this query. Now, go to the employee table and modify it by adding a brand new field called state. Save the table changes and check the table to see that the field is there. We can see that the employee table also has a state field. Now this query, which maybe you built a year ago and has been running every day and has been running fine, all of a sudden fails. You haven't changed the code of this query, but because state is now ambiguously referenced, the way to fix it is to say which state field it is. Let's say it's the location.state field. So as you see, to make your query code robust and not fragile to future changes, it's a good idea to fully qualify all of the fields you see and reference in your query. There's a drawback to this extra work. How many times do I have to type the word employee as a qualifier? That's a lot of typing. Some tables are 25 or more letters long. This lab will show you how to save typing while still giving you the benefits of fully qualifying your fields. Let's go back to the query that joined the employee and the location table and just pulled in 4 fields. Select star from employee inner join location on employee.location ID equals location.location ID and execute. Okay, too many fields. Let's pull in first name, last name, city, and state. Nice. Now what we're going to do is fully qualify all of the fields and all of the joins everywhere. Except we don't want to type in employee and location over again. Well, what we can do is look at the from clause. The from clause is the core of the query. Whatever you set there dictates how the rest of the query will run. So we're going to call the employee table E. We're going to call the location table L. Now we can say in our join that E.locationID is equal to L.locationID. And the first name is from the E table alias, last name is from the E table alias, city is from the L table alias, state is from the L table alias, and it runs with far less typing. Now this strategy does not rename your table. Your tables are still called employee and location. For the sake of this query, you refer to tables by the alias, like where L.city equals Seattle. For the sake of referencing fully qualified fields in your select, in your on, in your where, and other clauses that would need those fields, you can now save a significant amount of typing and screen space. Time for Lab 4.1, Skill Check 1. In JProCo, you want to see the employees and the grants they found. You want to just view the first name and the last name fields from the employee table, and you want to view the grant name and amount fields from the grant table. The employee table should be aliased as E. The grant table should be aliased as G. All 4 fields must use the 2-part identifier. When you're done, your screen should resemble the figure you see here. Now it's time for Skill Check 2. In JProCo, you want to see a list of employees and where they work. Just show the first name, last name, city, and state fields. Alias the employee table as emp and the location table as loc. Your result set should have 11 records, and when you're done, your screen should resemble the figure you see here. That's the end of Lab 4.1 on table aliasing. Next up, Lab 4.2, cross joins.